Back in the mid-80s, Ford decided to revolutionize the midsize sedan. They came out with a new product called the Ford Taurus, and it was a huge hit. They completely changed the form factor of what we thought a sedan should look like. Back then, pretty much every car had a grille. But somehow through some engineering trickery, Ford was able to not have a grille and still allow for great airflow into the radiator so it wouldn't overheat. And the rest was history. That revolutionary new car wound up to being the best-selling car in the United States for quite a while. But then the taste of the American consumer started to change, and now today in 2026, Ford really doesn't make any cars except the Mustang. Most buyers these days want to buy crossover SUVs, like these Bronco Sports and Escapes and Mach-E's. More American consumers are buying those than anything else. So unfortunately, coupes and sedans have fell by the wayside. A lot of American manufacturers have completely gone away with making cars. They make trucks, SUVs, and pickups. The only car that Ford makes these days is the Mustang. So the Taurus was pretty successful. It got redesigned, but sales started to slowly go away and slide down. Mainly, I think one of the biggest customers towards the end was maybe rental car fleets. And then it was quietly dropped from the Ford product line. Then in the 2000s, Ford came out with a new full-size sedan called the 500. Which is great. It was a popular vehicle, well received by the automotive press, but then Ford decided to shuffle around the names, and doing a refresh on the 500, they rechristened it the Taurus. Hi, this is Joe from Scarff Ford Isuzu, and today we're going to talk about this 2017 Ford Taurus SE. Let's dive in. So this was the last product to have the Taurus nameplate. Quite a legendary and meaningful name for Ford. The Taurus pretty much made a Ford success in the 90s for cars. Obviously the F-Series, the F-150, and Ranger and Explorer always sold very well. But on the automotive front, Taurus was a huge hit. But unfortunately, that one also was eventually dropped, and we are left back with the Mustang. But for those looking for a nice full-size sedan on the pre-owned market, the Tauruses are a great value. Yes, the original Taurus was more of a mid-size vehicle. The full-size vehicle back then was a Crown Victoria. But the reintroduced Taurus is actually a full-size vehicle where the Fusion took the Taurus's place as a midsize. So for those of you who are adverse to getting a SUV like an Explorer or an Escape, you want a nice spacious sedan, well, finding a nice Taurus like this in the pre-owned market is a great choice. This one features a 3.5 liter V6 pumping out 288 horsepower. Pretty quick, pretty fun to drive, also very fuel efficient. Of course, you can get the high performance SHO. SHO stands for super high output, another legendary name. When I was in high school, that was my dream car, was to have a Ford Taurus SHO. Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe that a teenager would dream about having a Ford Taurus, but believe me, the SHO is super cool. Tim Allen, I don't know if you know him, he's a huge automotive enthusiast, also a very popular actor, known for the Santa Claus, and then the first Santa Claus movie, Tim Allen actually had his own Ford Taurus SHO that he drove around in it. Not a lot of people noticed, but no, someone who did was me. So you have a nice spacious interior, plenty of space for people in the front and the back, nice stylish design, dual exhaust for a little bit more of an aggressive stance. And another dividend of being a full-size sedan is an absolutely gargantuan trunk. This trunk is absolutely humongous. Probably one of the largest trunks you'll find on a vehicle in a passenger sedan. And if you need even more space, you can also fold down those rear seats and turn it into a big pass-through for even more space. Obviously, this is an older design. This is 2026 and this is a 2017, getting close to a decade old. But the ergonomics and design in the interior is very nice, streamlined look. We have a 6-speed automatic transmission, rear parking camera. This one has 70,000 miles on it, great shape inside and out, and obviously being sold by a Ford dealership, so it was checked and inspected and serviced by our Ford certified techs. This will make a fantastic full-size sedan for somebody. Not everyone wants flashy cars like these Mustangs. If you just want a nice under-the-radar sedan that has low ownership costs, fuel efficient, spacious, has power, the Ford Taurus gets a job done at a great price point. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. My name is Joe. We're Scarff Ford Isuzu. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.
you.